would like to welcome everyone on this fine, beautiful Friday evening to our USD 409 Board of Education meeting. I'd entertain a motion for the ordering and approval of tonight's agenda as presented, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Sean.
Second.
Thank you, Diane. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. First up tonight is our budget hearing to review our proposed budget with Lori and Renee.
Hey, nothing has changed since the last time I reported. We just went ahead and put the notification in the paper. So if you guys are okay with it, we will certify it and send it on to the state and to our county for approval. Do you have any questions? Comments, questions, anything? You didn't get anything from the public?
There's nobody on the agenda over there.
No. Okay, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Lori. So, moving on, that would mean our action item, and we do have a suggested motion. If I could have someone make that motion,
Please, to accept the proposed budget for 2021.
Madam President, I move to accept and adopt the
2021 budget as presented.
thank you, John. May I have a second? Thank you, Stephanie. Any discussion, even though we've already asked for it? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you so much.
This is going okay. Next up is our, I'm happy for this negotiation as we ratified the 20 through 22 agreement between the Atchison National Education Association and USD 409. It was positively a wonderful moment in time, and I didn't know if Renee wanted to say something about that.
It is a 2-year agreement, which we're really excited about. There is a reopener clause in the agreement that in the event that the state would, there would be significant funding cuts or additions to the budget, that we could reopen that, but otherwise we would go on a 2-year contract salary scale. And in addition to that, there is a memorandum of understanding attached to this year's due to COVID. And so that's all part of and the MOU is a 1-year plan just to get us through the year of COVID.
And we are having 2 separate motions on those. So if someone would make the first motion, please.
Madam President, I move to ratify the 2020-2022 agreement between Atchison National Education
Association and Unified School District 409 with the revisions and salary schedule as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Stephanie. Is there any discussion on this? John?
This means we get a year off.
next year. I just wanted to point that out, right? I mean, if things, unless it's reopened.
If things stay steady,
Right.
that's
That is correct.
I mean, that's like historic for me because we've never done it.
Yes,
So and for the 3 of us, it's
very,
great.
very, very.
It was a quick process, but special thanks to Lori for working with NEA and explaining finances and giving them all the information they needed up front. And to Larry Mears for working on that memorandum of understanding. A lot of people were involved, and our committee members, we didn't really have to do too much except be good listeners. So, but very much appreciate the helping hands of so many
And then
people.
to add to that, really what that was is every extra dollar that we had went to teacher salaries. So that is very important, and plus some. So every dollar we had plus some went to teacher salaries, so we could get that at a competitive starting salary and hopefully help with recruitment and retention. So that's very big.
Yes.
Just wanted to comment, you know, this is
a really challenging time. It goes without saying, I know, but it is, especially from a money standpoint. And you know, Lori and her team, superintendent, you've managed our funds well to get us to this point. It's really historic for me to see a 2-year agreement, number one, and number two, especially this year when funds aren't, you know, they're a little tighter than usual. So it's really exciting, and just compliment Lori and compliment the administrative staff for and the negotiating team for getting this to us. So thank you very much.
Any other discussion? With that, I would call for a vote. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much, passes unanimously. Our second motion tonight is to ratify the MOU as presented. May I have a motion for that, please?
Madam President, I move to ratify the United School District 409 and Atchison National Education Association Memorandum of Understanding related to COVID-19.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. Anyone would have comments or questions about that MOU?
You want to say anything about
It's,
that?
it was just really well done in terms of collaboration with the ANEA and the negotiating team, I think, the committee. We looked at some things that were still very important to the teachers to keep, such as a duty-free lunch when possible, but also just them to understand that COVID's gonna require a lot of flexibility and gave us some leniency to act when necessary. So I'm really proud of the collaborative effort there.
I just have to comment again, I'm sorry, Madam President, I have to just say,
fine.
I was at
At a retreat, a legislative retreat, where I talked to people from throughout the state. Nowhere has there been a better agreement than a memorandum than what we have, and the flexibility that's built into it. And that's a real tribute, again, to administration and to the ANEA as they work together collaboratively to work this out.
Yes.
You know, I'm not saying that we have the perfect, but we're about as close as we can get in this challenging time that we're going through. And it was exciting to see that we have so much flexibility to offer our students. And I think people understand that, but I don't know if they really, that there's other districts, many other districts where they don't have this flexibility built in, and it's just causing, I'm telling you, a lot of angst in other districts. And we're very fortunate to have as much flexibility built into this as we do, and y'all need to really appreciate and understand that, because, and I know, and I think we all understand this may change, and we're gonna have to really, that'll really take flexibility to another level, but I was really proud at my retreat to tell, because no one else really has presented a plan like, we had kind of a unique plan, so I was pretty proud to present that to some of the other legislators in Topeka a couple of nights ago, so.
Yeah, it's very exciting to me because Renee and her administrative team were on this way back in June, making plans, talking about what was happening, and a lot of the school districts are still jumping through the hoops, and here we are. So I'm very impressed with our district, and we're full of grace, we're full of truth, and we're just gonna bring our very best to everyone we serve. And it really, you're right, it's an honor to be where we are today, because there are many districts that aren't where we are.
Well, I'm just really proud.
Yes,
Because
yes.
it just, it's not gone so long.
Agreed.
Way to go.
I agree.
Well,
Yes.
add to that, those of us that were there for the walkthrough, the amount of time and thinking and strategizing and everything that went into that was just, and it was just one of, 3 levels of school, but it was,
Well, the expression, the
Pretty
devil's in
tails, and man, we told the devil to get
Yeah,
out.
that's right.
Because really, you guys have really thought, you thought of about everything you can think of, I believe, and then some. And this will change, this is the best laid plans.
can
Right.
change, and they may change quickly as we see how our numbers look. But anyway, I just think it's a real compliment to our crew. So.
Any other discussion? With that, I'd entertain that motion as presented. Minutes, please. Or did we already do
We made
that?
that.
Okay.
We can just-
Let's vote.
we just-
All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much. Passes unanimously. See, I get so excited talking about the good things, I forget where I'm at. So, next on our list, we have a couple of recommendations for employment, if you would like to read that, John.
Madam President,
I do have a couple of recommendations for employment, and first is Jason
Tomlinson, paraeducator, Ashland Elementary School, effective 8/27/20. And 2 is Tracy Boldridge, paraeducator, Ashland Elementary School, effective 8/27/20.
May I have a second for that, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you, Sean.
I do have some discussion. I want to ask how, as we start the year here after, the Wednesday after Labor Day, are we still going to have some temps or do we have any openings or?
We still have 1 third grade opening.
Okay.
And we have filled a preschool opening with a long-term sub. We think we're gonna be okay on the 3rd grade opening, just with the numbers in terms of remote learning, that we're gonna be okay.
Okay,
We're hopeful that at semester, we can fill that position.
very good. I just thought the public might want to know
Yeah,
that.
and we are down a few pairs, so
Mhm.
we will be hiring some more pairs.
Any other discussion?
I think just one more question too. Are we hiring anybody additional because of COVID?
We are not.
Okay, so we're working with what we have and we're using them.
Correct.
You need to say that a little. We are not hiring.
Not hiring anyone else at this time due to COVID. We will
Utilize substitutes as necessary, and we plan to do a lot of shifting. We expect a lot of people to have to quarantine and maybe then have to move temporarily to be a remote teacher and pull remote teachers back into the classroom, so we're just expecting a lot of fluidity this year.
Any other discussion? Good discussion.
Yep.
All right, all in favor, raise your right hand, please. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And now for a supplemental.
Yes,
Madam President, I have one supplemental, Christy Sumter for cheer sponsor fall.
fall and winter, Ashland Middle School.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sally.
discussion. Seeing none,
All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you so much. Passes unanimously. And next is adjournment.
That's it.
Mhm.
And if there's
nothing else to be discussed, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Effective.
Thank you, Diane. Sean, all in favor, raise your right hand. 15-minute meeting, can't believe it.
That's what I think.
Friday.
Friday.